Hello, hello, hello. This is Kenny Perkins, aka your cancer guy. And as I say again, we have another phenomenal guest. Yes, listen, we're all over the world. We're traveling. We're finding individuals whose story can empower you. And so in this case, we pull no stops. We go to Portugal slash Canada to find our next guest. She is a phenomenal human being. She has children that she takes care of. She's a dancer. She can help you with your hair, the things that you may be going through. You have no idea. This woman not only is a warrior, she's a giver and she's a free-spirited individual. That's the kind of that's the kind of people we love coming in contact, right? We love to give people who can give, who understand what it's like to go through a dark time in life. Sometimes being diagnosed with cancer can be overwhelming. It can be cause all kind of anxiety and fear, right? This individual knows about that. She doesn't want you to go through something like this alone without dropping gems. Why? Because she's been through it. She knows that feeling. She understands that. And so she came on our show today to talk to us about the things that she went through. And hopefully a lot of the things that she's gone through on this journey can benefit you. That's why we're here. All Talk Oncology. There's nothing here that we don't really talk about. And today we're going to do it again. Okay. Again, our next guest coming from Portugal slash Canada. Let's bring a round of applause for Susete Ferreira. What's going on?
Wow, what an introduction. Thank you so much. You just brought so many tears into my eyes. It certainly hasn't been an easy journey, but wow, what a story I've got to tell.
Thank you.
That's where I find the strength. It's in the story that I have to tell because I wish I had that in when I first heard the news. So I'm just going to tell the story like it is from day one. And when I started to connect the dots, because no one expects to get cancer. I didn't look for cancer results. I didn't think I was gonna have, no one expects to get cancer, period. We always think it only happens to other people and never to us until it does. And then you got to deal with it because life goes on. You're still a mom, you're still a dad, you still got to do you're alive. You're still alive. You still got to live. You can't stop living when you hear the cancer word. It's very scary. Yes, it is. But you still got to get up. You got to keep going and you got to make the best of it one day at a time. So I'm going to start telling the story. One Friday morning, I wake up. I'm fine. I was cleaning. I was helping a woman with her job. She had gone to Portugal. She was a friend of my mom's. And she asked for me to, if I can do her work while she went on vacation so she doesn't lose her job. So I went and I was cleaning her houses. She did house cleanings. And I went to clean that one house this Friday morning and I started feeling a pain. I was driving to her house and I started feeling a sharp pain right under my rib cage on the right side. And it kind of felt like an appendix kind of pain. I wasn't sure. I thought maybe, the Charlie horse pain kind of started kind of like that. And I said, okay, you still keep going. I wasn't going to go back home. No, I still made it to the lady's house. Started taking the sheets out of the beds, putting to wash up and down because her laundry was downstairs. And the more up and down I was doing, um, the more active I was getting, the harder I was feeling that pain was getting stronger and just sharper. And But I said, okay, now I'm halfway to the house. I might as well finish. I finished. I was done. Oh, when I left that house, whew, I could hardly walk. It was a pain. It was there. I thought, oh my gosh, like, what is this? Anyway, that night I had a dinner planned with my stepdaughter and my stepson. Um, I have a blended family. So they were coming over, and my husband and I, we were talking, and he said, what are we going to have for dinner? He goes, oh, we'll have some steak. How about you go pass by the butcher, get a fresh steak, and we're going to make steak. So from the lady's house, I went to the butcher, got my steak, came home. My stepdaughter was already at my house. She has the key to my house. She comes in. And I felt that pain. I couldn't move by this time. I laid down on the couch. That was unlikely of me. They kind of judged me, to be honest. They were like, what is wrong with her? Like, why is she going straight to sleep when she gets home? Like, you got the kids running. I was not functioning that day. I laid on my couch, and I had to lay down on my left side, and my right side had to be, I couldn't be touching I couldn't be laying on my right side. So I laid there. I felt really cold. I asked for a blanket, and at 5 p.m., that was the time I got home. I slept until 7 a.m. the next day. No dinner, couldn't eat. I had another house to clean that next day, and because of all this pain, I couldn't even talk to anybody. I couldn't even think, never mind talk. And when I woke up, I felt relieved. I felt a little better. So I thought, you know what? I can do this. There goes Susete again, clean another house. I start cleaning that house. But, cleaning a house, there's lots of stairs up and down. These are big houses. They're not your regular mediocre house. They're big, like big houses. Going up and down the stairs, I start feeling that pain started attacking me again. It was so bad. I thought in my little brain, I took a few stories. I posted on my Instagram. And I thought, gosh, I have such a pain. What is this? I can't work today. And I took a nap between, I laid down on the floor I remember on the staircase floor. I laid down. I couldn't go further another staircase. I had to just rest. And I thought, oh my gosh, if they have cameras and they're watching me sleep here, what are they going to think? I couldn't. I had to rest. And then I got up again and thought, oh my, I cannot leave this house. There's nobody there. They're at the cottage. They left the money for me. I couldn't leave with the money or with, I had to do it. I had to do it. To me, in my work ethic, how I learned, how I was raised, you don't give up, period. You do not give up. That's not part of my dictionary. So I finished the house. When I was done, I posted another story to my Instagram, and I thought, you know what? Quitter, you never quit. You never quit. You do it, and you do it with pain. You do it, and you still do it. So anyway, that day went, and I thought, maybe it'll get better after I sleep. Maybe it'll even go away. I had the hope that it was nothing serious. Next day comes, I had a barbecue at my sister-in-law's house. We drove an hour there. She made sangria. She goes, Susete, have a sangria. It's so yum. She's so great at making cocktails. She makes the best sangria in the world. And of course, I had sangria. After I had maybe a glass and a half, I started feeling such a pain again. Oh my gosh, why did I drink that sangria? That was my biggest regret. I started feeling really cold again. And everybody's outside. She has a pool like in her backyard. Everybody's enjoying. This is August. This is August 6th. August 6th. the day before I went to the hospital. And, you know, we had sardines, the whole family was there, the brothers, the sisters, the nephews, the babies, everybody playing the best time. Suzette is inside the house, sleeping in her lovebird couch, wrapped up in a blanket, cold. I didn't know a pain. People were coming in and asking, "What's wrong with you, Suzette?" No one's used to seeing Suzette doing that. I'm always outside with everybody, having a blast, laughing, making jokes. That day, anyway, the next day, that day, I still went home and I thought, I don't know what I'm going to do. I was just thinking, I wasn't sure what I was going to do. I knew that I had to go to the hospital, but I was scared too. I was actually really scared to go to the hospital, and I was avoiding it at all costs. The next day came, and I had another house to clean, Monday, right? And I asked my mom this time to come with me. She's home. I asked, Mom, can you please come with me? I have this pain. I don't know what's going to happen today. But I thought, when I woke up that Monday morning, I thought, I can't go another day without going to the hospital today. And to be honest, I can't remember exactly if I called telehealth or not, but it's a phone number that we have here in Canada where it's like a helpline when you're in some kind of health struggle. They advise you, you're okay, you can wait at home another 2 days, see if the pain goes away, then. Or they tell you, no, you go straight to the hospital. A nurse talks to you. They ask you a bunch of questions. They diagnose you through the phone, and they tell you, you should go. Are you able to go straight to emergency? I can't remember if I called that number because I was in so much pain that Monday morning. Anyway, we went to clean the house. My mom came with me. She did most of it. I couldn't walk at that point. It was very, very hard for me to walk. My mom was just telling me, we have to go to the hospital. Just let's leave this house. Let's just go to the hospital. I'm like, Mom, but now like we're already here. We're almost, we're already halfway. I'm laying on that lady's floor on that Monday. My mom finished cleaning her house. We're done cleaning the house, straight to the hospital from there. So I wait, I do blood work, I did an ultrasound, I did CT scan. And then the CT scan, they didn't say anything that day, right? No, they didn't say nothing that day. They admitted me to the hospital.
Absolutely.
So they is that how you say it? Admitted? English is not my first language, just so you know. And so sometimes
You
I kind
sound
of
great. You sound great. And let me
but I'm
say, let
trying.
me
I'm
say,
trying my
let's
best
get
to
into this for a
explain.
second because
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
your high tolerance for pain is incredible. I mean, to be in excruciating pain and no, you still got to clean the house. I admire that work ethic for sure, 100%. But it's incredible, right? I mean, let's not ignore the warning signs, and that's what I'm listening to right away, right? It's like your body was talking to you, like, hello, Susette, hello, uh, come talk to me, come check me out. And sometimes we just continue on, not that every pain we have needs to be cancer. No, it doesn't. It's not that. But we should pause and listen to our bodies. I do want to say that. And so go ahead, Suzette. I didn't want to, I just wanted to interrupt and say that to our.
Absolutely. That's one of I really try to put that out there in my posts. That's one thing that because I did not listen to my body. And for months, because anyway, I'll get to that in a second. um, because I had symptoms for months, maybe even years. And I never connected the dots, but I'll get to that in a second. So I get admitted to the hospital. The next day, I'm in my hospital room. And the surgeon came to see me. He says, the pain is coming from your gallbladder. We have to remove your gallbladder. We were trying to figure out the date, and the oncologist wants to talk to you about the CT scan results. And so I just heard that. I can't question something I don't know anything about. So I kept quiet and I took the order and I thought, okay, someone's going to come talk to me. I'll understand then what's happening, right? But I'm sitting in my hospital room with this pain. I'm getting the morphine to calm down that pain. That's the only way they were calming that pain. So later that day, they figured out I was gonna have surgery on Thursday. So this is now Tuesday. Because I went on the Monday, I got admitted by like midnight, and then I was there. So Tuesday, the surgeon came to see me in the afternoon, and the oncologist, they both walked into my room. My mom and my two kids had just arrived to come see me because I hadn't seen my kids since Monday morning. So my mom brought my kid. My husband was in the room with me, and my mom and my two kids had just arrived to come see me. And the surgeon and the oncologist walk in. The oncologist turned to my mom, turned to me and said, who are these people? I said, that's my mom. These are my two kids. Can they go for a walk? Okay, so my mom took the kids. They weren't kind of understanding, like, why do we have to leave the room? We just came to see mom. They had just arrived not too long before. And so the oncologist says, so wait, before the oncologist comes into the room, I thought, when the surgeon told me, I just need to put what I felt, because I feel like it's very important how you feel, because you need to know that you don't feel these things alone. I felt like my world was going to crash when I heard oncologist. Well, first of all, let me break that down for you. I didn't know what an oncologist was. I had to Google oncologist. I grabbed my phone and I wrote oncologist. I wish I had that history to just go back and just, see that. Mm. I Googled it and I thought, and it said cancer doctor. And that's when it just.
Sure, for sure.
I had to take a few breathers there. But I thought, you know what? I'm not the first one. This is not the first person it's happening to. Okay, we're going to do this. Okay, stop. Relax. We're going to do this. Let's take one step at a time. We know nothing yet. We just know the oncologist is going to come talk to you. That's all. Keep it simple. So I try to keep calm. My husband's pacing. Everybody's worried already. I try to keep calm, and I'm thinking, okay, if no one else can be calm, I have to be the one that has to be calm. I have to be the one being strong if no one else can be strong around me, So the oncologist, when she came in, she then told my mom and my kids to leave the room. She wanted to talk to me. She said, your belly, we've seen a lot of lymph nodes all over your body, your upper body. You have one on your groin. You have your abdomen is completely full of disease. She said that like that. And I was okay. And so now we're going to do a biopsy on Thursday. When you remove your gallbladder, we're going to do a biopsy. And then in about 10 to 20 days, you're going to get your results back. That's how we don't diagnose based on picture, but it does look like cancer. That's what she said. So I'm waiting for this biopsy. I'm kind of expecting it already because for her to go this far and for me to see it's an oncologist, of course it's cancer, right? Who am I trying to fool? I'm preparing myself. I right away when I so they removed my gallbladder. They took the biopsy on my lymph node under my arm, my right arm on my armpit. So then a few days later, they sent me home. It got infected. I had to go back. I had to get a drain. I had to go to the hospital to emergency because for some reason it got infected. It got so much pus inside. I had to go do this. I had to go to the nurse every day to take care of that wound because it wouldn't stop draining. I was 2 months every day. I was going to treat that wound. Every day they would drain it. They had like this really long piece of thread they would stick in, and then they would leave it in there with what was it? Saline and some other I can't remember. But anyway, that was another thing. And then so a few like 2 weeks later, I no, 1 month later, 1 month later. No, sorry, 2 weeks later, I get the results back. And they said it was either follicular lymphoma or Castleman's disease. So that's when my research started. I started researching about lymphoma that, and then in between this, I'm sharing about this because I thought when I was sitting on my hospital bed, between the surgery and after, I was thinking, I can't be the only one going through this. I felt so alone in my hospital bed. I didn't know who I could talk to. I thought, how the heck am I going to find someone else to like talk to about this that will understand me? And I thought, oh my gosh, I have my Instagram profile. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to find my people like that because I learned social media through Monet. I've learned that through the business, the brand I'm partnered with. So I thought I know exactly how I'm going to do this to find the people that I need to find, people that are going through the same thing. Like I need to find my community. So that I started posting in between, and that's when my account went viral. I got like 100,000 followers within a month. That was crazy too. But so 10, so the doctor, when she said they were between Castleman's disease or lymphoma, they thought, okay, you're going to get a PET scan done, and I'm trying to remember because this was
I
so
can
much things
imagine.
happen already after that, and it's hard to keep track. Your brain, it protects you and it just helps you forget things that are not so
Mhm.
important as like a defense mechanism. I've learned that. So there's a lot of like details that I'm probably
No,
leaving out. I
I
don't
mean,
know.
this is one. I
I'm
hope everyone
trying.
heard her, Suzette.
um
What she said is right away, she found out this diagnosis. And what did she want to do? She needed to find a community for people who've lived through this, people who have gone through this. And so she started looking for that. It's important that we find our community or the people who were around us, our support groups, because they can aid us in the way. They can help us along with our feelings or the things that come into our minds, the doubts. So I love that she said that right away because sometimes people are frozen. They don't know to go to a support group or social media or how to ask that. And it's everything is so overwhelming. So I'm glad you had the clarity in order to do that, Suzette. So thank you for that.
And then I realized from all the messages that I was getting how many people I was actually helping. When I looked at for myself, it was to help me, but then helping me became helping other people was helping me with helping the I have
Mm.
so many questions. I still have messages from September I haven't opened. So many messages that I haven't gotten to because it was just so much. It was just crazy. Anyway, I'm still trying to message one person at a time. I'm still doing it. It takes a lot of my time. It takes up a lot of my time, but I'm a human being, and I try to be
Sure.
the light that I needed
Suzette, when was this
when
diagnosis? What
you
year
know,
was that?
what I just said.
Got it.
2023. So then after I got the PET scan done, the doctor said we're gonna have a meeting with the doctors board. So they had a few specialists, you know, analyze my results and all, all the blood work, the PET scan, the ultrasounds, all the things. And so they diagnosed me September 26, 2023. They diagnosed me with stage 4 follicular lymphoma. The next day, I started chemotherapy the next day. Uh, so I went in, I did the blood work. They make sure that every time you do chemo, they make sure that you do the blood work and they make sure that your body is okay to receive chemo, that you're strong enough, you're not sick, and hemoglobin and I don't know the technical names. You know that. That's your specialty. Um, but
Stage 4. So you get
I got
diagnosed with
lost what I was
stage
gonna say.
4. They talk to you about chemo. Well, right away, it's chemo. Is there anything else that they're looking at doing to you at that moment?
She had mentioned chemo right when she was talking in my hospital room when she first came to see me. She said if it were to be a lymphoma, it would be treatable. She kind of gave me an idea of what it was going to look like. So I had hope that it was going to all be fine. She also told me that the chemo that I was going to get, um, hair fall was not a side effect. So that really made it that much better because that's something that I think everyone struggles with. It's the hair fall when you get chemo because you look even more sick than what you already are, it. So she said it could happen. It happens 1 in 5 people. It could thin, but it usually doesn't, and you should be okay. So I thought, okay, I'm gonna pray and just if it happens, it happens. Say I'm not gonna be. It's if it happens, it's gonna grow back. And beautiful doesn't come from the outside; it comes from the inside. Doesn't matter what you look like. It's your heart that matters. I've always learned that, and I keep that as much as we're told by society that the look is very important because it is important too, but true beauty comes is from the inside. It's not from the outside. So I, keep that in mind. Because our bodies do change once you start getting chemo. A lot of things change. But you kind of adapt because it doesn't happen one day to the next. It happens slowly. So you adapt. We human beings adapt to everything. We even adapt to pain. I adapted to pain for a few days. you know so we're all so I did the chemo. I did the 6 months
Yeah, so you
treatment.
had
I'm not
six
sure if you
months
want
of
me to go
chemo.
into detail with that.
Okay.
Yes, So two days every 4 weeks. One day I would take rituximab and bendamustine, and then the second
Okay.
day I would take another dose of
How did you get through
bendamustine.
chemo? How long were your infusions? Because sometimes people don't know how long. I mean, it's different for everyone, right? But you're getting infused. How long was that?
The first infusion was the longest because they start very slowly because they don't know if your body's going to be able to tolerate it. So they start the dose. I actually had like a little panic attack right when they started. So they started they increased the dosage very slowly throughout the hour. So they started with, let's say, 30 mils an hour. I have 100 mils to go through, right? I can't remember. I have a video
Okay.
of the quantity. I don't know if it's 100 and something mils. Um, but when they increased it the first time, I felt very sick in that moment, and I vomit. I lost oxygen. I felt extreme heat coming to my face from going upwards. But that was all within 5 minutes. Once they decreased it right away, and then they increased it slowly again, and then I adapted, and it was fine. That first infusion took about 5 hours, I would say, because it's a process. They don't once you get there, they don't connect you right away to the infusion. They make sure you're okay.
Mhm.
They talk to you a bit. It's all part of the process. uh, the blood work they did the day before my first chemo treatment. Um, so right after those 5 minutes, I felt fine, and I did the rest of the day. Okay, then the day two was fine, and then the second treatment was a lot
Okay.
faster. That was maybe 2 hours, 2 3 hours. That's how much I would be there around 8:30 a.m. I would leave around 11, 12, depending on if they can find the vein right away, because I didn't have a port. So they'd have to find the vein every time I'd go in, and my veins were my arms. I couldn't feel my arm. Well, not couldn't feel, but I had a pain on my arms a few weeks after getting each chemo. I don't know if that's what they call
Neuropathy.
naturopathy. Naturopathy. Neuropathy. That's it. I'm not sure if that's what the pain that I was feeling, but like my daughter, sometimes she would
Mm.
hold my arm, and even that would hurt just for getting my attention. Very sensitive, very sensitive. But that was one thing that would take long. Sometimes they would have to call the specific person that knows how to find the vein, the right vein. So I'd have to wait for the person to be available, come down and find the right, know where to poke. And sometimes they poke me
Yeah.
like 5 times before they can find the right vein. That wasn't fun either. But we did it. We did it, and now it's done. I also felt the first few treatments. Well, throughout the whole process, every week after the chemo, I would get very constipated. That was another thing I had to go to the hospital for. One time, it was so bad that
Mm.
I couldn't move. Everything became rock because all our whole body dries up. I learned everything dries up with chemotherapy. You need to have a lot of liquids, lots and lots of liquids. Very, very important. Um, where was I going with this?
It's a
This is
real
what they call the
thing too,
chemo brain.
Yeah.
It's
No.
a real thing. I'm sorry. uh, But yeah, so I went to the house. That was not a pretty, that was the worst
Oh my gosh.
experience of my life. Worse than having my two kids. You I had to poop in front of the doctor. Like how you can't get any more vulnerable than that. Oh my goodness, it was so bad. They had to, they used the enema and all that, but they had to do it like twice. It was really bad. So then, how I saw what I did from then on, and that never happened, was I drink plum juice. That really helps me. That really helped me. So I had actually uh, a follower messaged me a few days ago telling me, I'm so constipated. Were you? What happened? What did you do when you were constipated? And I said, I drank plum juice. I know some people that have diabetes and they can't drink plum juice because it's very high in sugar. But if you can, maybe mix it with
So let me
water.
ask,
It
your
helped me.
your
So,
mindset at this point, right? Six, you're going through 6 months chemo, been diagnosed. The reality of this is that now it's setting in. What is your thought process just about life, your thought process about this whole journey at that moment?
uh, it's really tough to keep strong, People want to see strong and you that's a hard question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Can you
going
rephrase the
through
question?
6 months of chemo and now being diagnosed and having this biopsy and all these things you went through, right? Because prior to that, you were cleaning houses, you were with your family, but now you're struck when the reality is you're having these treatments now and you've been diagnosed. What's going through your mind now in that moment? With all of these things happening to you as you're going on, as you got catapulted on this journey, what's going through your mind? What's in your head? What are you thinking?
I grieve the person that I used to be, but then at the same time, I think, this has brought me so many lessons. It has helped me change my whole perspective about life and not just living for me, prioritizing my wants and my needs, because as a mom, it's very hard to get lost in motherhood and forget about taking care of yourself. And you kind of stop doing things for yourself. So this kind of it helped me become a little more selfish. It helped me become selfish. Not everybody is happy with that around me in my life, but I had to do that. I had to prioritize myself because I put myself second for way too long. I put that whole weekend. Why did I do that to myself? Why didn't I just I have a lot of grief on that. Why didn't I listen to my body? Why did I treat myself so bad? You can't be a good person. You can't fill anybody else's cup. You can't be good to anybody if you're not good to yourself. Truly, truly, you can't be good to anyone if you're not good to yourself. So how if you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of anybody else. So for the moms, I have this message: take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. Listen to your body. Yeah. Someone's gonna take care of your kids. Someone's gonna. It's gonna. It's it all gonna. It's all gonna work out. It's all gonna work out. It's it's a lot of uh, mindset work. It's a lot of believing in yourself and thinking, I'm worthy of living a good life even after being diagnosed with cancer. It's okay. It's not a life sentence. You're still living. You it's not with the best circumstances. It could be better without the cancer. Yes, I know, but it, it's still possible to live. It's still possible, to be your best. So I also it's helped me helping others. I see, because I get a lot of messages on my Instagram is my community. I have a deep love for my Instagram, my community. I've created that community, and I've helped a lot of people, and helping these people has helped me too. So when you feel like desperate in some type of way, go help someone, because that really changes up how you see yourself. It shows you worthiness. When you need
Yes.
help someone
Well
else.
said.
You're going to help yourself by helping
One of the
someone
things
else.
I want to touch on is when you have a significant other or partner or spouse and you're going through something like this, how do you find the balance, to give that attention to that person, or real recognize, like you talked about, you have kids, you have someone in your life. How do you balance that and then not lose them in that journey? How have you done that?
Uh, that's a really tough subject right now. It really it could change. It could change. Your relationship could change, because not everyone can understand what you're actually going through, and sometimes the other person doesn't can't not it's hard for them to accept what is happening. It's created friction in my relationship. Absolutely. Yeah. I'm working on it. We're working on it. We're trying to make the best,
Yeah.
but it's been very
Well,
tough.
Suzette, you're not alone in that, and that's the reason why I touched that, because it's difficult when you are in a position of trying to fight for what seems to be uh, a life-threatening deal, right? You know, when you're trying to fight, but at the same time you have a partner. It's not uncommon over the two decades that I've seen this, that you have this issues that come about. And so I wanted to touch on that, not just for Suzette, but for also the people that are going through that, because it is a common thing that happens. It's not easy for anyone on both sides, the caregiver, the loved one, or the actual patient themselves. So yeah, thank you. I know it's a sensitive subject. I just wanted to kind of get your feedback on that.
Yeah, it hasn't been easy, but communication and compassion, that's what we need, right? We need to try putting an effort to putting ourselves in the other person's shoes, and just understanding what they're going through, so we can just sometimes sit back and just listen to the other person, not react. Just need to listen and understand where that person, why they're feeling the way they're feeling. What can you do to make things better? everything's fixable and figure outable, really, right? So I have I know that we're gonna work it through and we're gonna come out stronger, but it does
Sure.
take
You know,
it
I
puts a
say this
strain on
to
the
some of my
relationship. It
clients. I
does.
say, you know, sometimes cancer becomes the main feature in our lives, and it takes everyone's attention. But sometimes you need to put that thing on the back burner. You know what I mean? And tonight's just going to be date night. We're not going to talk about cancer. We're not going to talk about anything else except date night, the things that happen in your day. Hey, remember the first time we met? Hey, remember those dates we had back in our day? Hey, remember when we met and this and that? And it's things like that, right? It's sometimes it's hard to do that because I can imagine you live it. But if you can put that guy on the back burner, because he's not the main feature, he's not really. He played a part in your role and woke you up. It woke you up in your life, from what I understand. And but you got a partner who's been there and hanging with you, and you as well, right? Because some people run away, uh, but sometimes it's putting that guy on the back burner and just enjoying each other in the moment. And it takes two people to want to do that. So I love that you've given us a glimpse, and I want to tell that to everyone out. That this is not Suzette. This is for everyone. You know, relationships during cancer. I've seen it all. And you asked me my question. I've seen it. People have ran away. They have left their spouses. They have gone and the person has dealt with that on their own. You have no idea the amount of things that have happened to people because of being diagnosed with cancer. But you know what? If you can go through something as horrific as cancer and you can somehow salvage the love that you have, man, I tell you what, that love, that relationship, that that bond is going to be so much better. It's going to be so much healthier. And that's something that each individual has to figure that out, you know. So that you finish this chemo, I want to get into a transition. We finished that chemo, you get this thing down. That was just last year. We were listening, it was 2023. How is life now? How is life now for you? What is that like? Mm,
I'm trying to cope mentally. It's a big mental load to I'm still trying to process the whole thing. I'm doing an immune therapy as well. I'm going back every 3 months for 2 years. And I already went for my first one end of May. And that went well. I was just very tired that first week after. Uh, very extreme fatigue, but nothing that a good sleep can't fix. That's it. Sleep fixes everything. Thank
it
goodness
is
for sleep.
underrated.
It's so underrated too. um, but yeah, now I'm home with my kids. I have that same lady is gonna need my help again this year. So I already have one lady booked for all of July and August. So I'll be busy with one house already. I don't know if all the other ones are going to message me, but I was really busy that time. I'm a little nervous. I'm also doing my online business from home right now. So that's what I'm doing now. Just trying to help as many people as possible in every way that I can while I'm home with my kids in the pockets of my day. Um,
Yes.
and it's very
Yes.
simple life.
So give us an idea. What is something now that Suzette enjoys? Right? You got your kids. What is something that you guys enjoy doing now that you just find so much appreciation in, maybe that you didn't before?
I love the trips that my family and I just go on, just little exploring trips, little walks, just the four of us. The four of us, and even with my stepkids as well. I have two stepdaughters, and they both have one is married and has a boyfriend. When we get together, I look forward to cooking for them. I love to cook for my family. That's a way of me showing my love. And I love getting together with them in the weekend. We have a deck in the backyard where we sit and we eat, and we have a big sun umbrella, and we have the barbecue there, and the kids are playing outside on the rollerblades. With My son loves to play hockey, like street hockey. So he's playing, and he plays with the older stepbrother, with my stepdaughter's husband, and I just love to have my family around and just eat and share memories and talk and laugh and make jokes.
Yes.
That's my favorite. My favorite. Having my family over my house and
Yes.
cooking for them and spending like good times with them. Put music on, dance a
Yes.
little, all the good vibes.
Yeah, we want to hear all
Looking
about it
forward
too.
to
We
that
want to
this
see
summer.
some of those
So
things on postings. We want to see that. We love, it's nothing like having your family around, and being able to enjoy and feeling that love, right? Feel that love and see it. And, I know
yes.
women, they're so observant. I can just imagine you sitting back and watching this whole picture. You seeing your son playing hockey, and you seeing your daughters over there talking, and just watching everything. I can just see you. I can just see you, and then you being the amazing cook you are. I'm like, man, invite me over. I want to. Yeah.
I have to write my own cookbook. I keep on getting asked. My stepdaughters tell me all the time, you have to make your own like
Absolutely.
digital
Absolutely. We need more
recipe
we
book where
need
you
more
can sell it
recipes out
to the
here.
world.
People love it's therapeutic for some people, right? It's getting in the kitchen and creating and making something delicious that everyone benefits from and love. Yeah, I love that. And that's you. You're a giver. That's what you heard you say. You're a giver.
That's yeah, cooking is art. I feel, and when you cook for people you love, it's different. I don't know
Let's
if I
see,
can cook
Suzette.
for
Let's see.
strangers.
I love it. I love it. You know, I thank you
Uh,
so much for coming on here and talking about your journey. You know, it's important for all of us to see that, we go through these roller coasters in life, ups and downs, peaks and valleys, right? But to see you being this giver and being a person who's out here cooking and, you know, giving back to the community, we appreciate you, and I thank you so much. And I'm glad that you looked into other people who have survived this because it gave you that hope. And now you're turning around and giving that hope back. And we need that. We need that interperson connection. And so before I let you go, let me ask you this. For anyone that may be going through something similar, someone that may be feeling overwhelmed in darkness and not being able to see light because they're just overwhelmed, what would you say to that individual?
you are not weak. You are not weak. You are not weak. We're so much stronger than we think. We're so much stronger than we think. we don't even know. We have no idea of how capable we are of going through something like that and coming out so much stronger the other side, mentally. And really, nothing is permanent. Everything we go through in life is a phase. So know that it's not going to be whatever you're going through. It's not a forever thing. It's a temporary thing. It's not a sentence. It's not a life sentence. It will get better. It will get better.
Thank you so much, Susete, for that. Thank you for being here on All Talk Oncology. And it was a privilege. It was a privilege for us. Any last words you would like to say before we let you go?
Enjoy one day at a time. Don't sweat the small stuff because it really doesn't matter. The small things, if you're not going to care about it in 2 days from now, it doesn't matter right now. It doesn't matter. Don't sweat the small things. Enjoy 1 minute at a time. Enjoy the small moments. Try to find joy in your daily tasks, your day to day. Try to do things that make you happy. Do things that you enjoy. Try to connect with your inner child, the things that you used to love as a child, the things that spark, the excitement. Do that. Do lots of that. Because that's how you fill up your cup. And it's very important when you're going through this type of sadness, quote unquote. It helps. It really helps if you prioritize yourself.
Thank you for that.
Love on yourself.
Thank you. Again, we want to thank you so much, Susete, for joining us here at All Talk
You're
Oncology.
welcome.
And for all those that are listening in, as I always say, you're not alone in this. We're in this together. This is Kenny Perkins, aka your cancer guy. Until again, we're out.
So stay connected with us on All Talk Oncology Cancer Podcast. Make sure you subscribe to that, right? Wherever you listen to your podcast, whether that's Apple, Spotify, make sure you subscribe and continue to spread that word, right? Engage in this because your engagement can help someone stay alive. And this is what we're talking about. So again, make sure you subscribe, hit that subscribe button. Again, this is Kenny Perkins, aka your cancer guy. Until again, I'm out.